to start.
Welcome to Darren Peacock, who's going to talk to us tonight about heritage problems, heritage at risk.
Thank you. Yes, I'm here to talk about not a happy topic, heritage at risk. Basically, we have a problem with the new planning system, that what it's proposing to do is to radically reduce the protections for our heritage places. And what I want to talk about in the 5 minutes I have is what that means for Gawler and what you can do about it. So, anyone recognise this place? Yes, okay. So this is an example of a contributory item. So as Brian suggested, there are different types of heritage designation. Contributory items has been used for about 25 years in the state to give protection to places like this that actually comprise a really valid part of the streetscape or a neighbourhood, to really recognise the fact that we don't want to lose these places. It's different from local heritage and it's different from state heritage. I could spend hours explaining all the ins and outs of this. Planning law is not simple and not that interesting generally, but it's pretty interesting right now because we've had a system that's been working pretty well for, for more than 25 years. And the changes that have gone through and the ones that are threatened will really reduce a lot of those protections that we've relied on to keep buildings like that. So, just next slide. Okay. So 40 years we've had protections in South Australia, and that has allowed us to create local heritage listings for each council area. So of 38 councils in the state have heritage lists, 30 do not still, which is even worse because they've got no protection. There are 2,000 state heritage places around the state. There's 7,000 local heritage places. There are 11,000 contributory items, and there are historic conservation zones, about 140, and state heritage areas. Now, you have all of those in Gawler. You have state, local, contributory, you have historic conservation zones, and state heritage, at least one state heritage area, Church Hill. So you have a vital interest in this because all of these protections are being rewritten in a new set of rules that we haven't quite seen yet, but we know what it entails is going to make it much easier to demolish buildings like this, so that they all become at a greater risk of being lost than they currently are. So going ahead, so in Gawler, this is my best count, just keep going. You've got 30 state heritage places, as I understand it? 40, okay, there you go. 84 local heritage? 100, okay. And 603 contributory items? 609, okay. So there you go, we don't even know how many there are. And you've got how many historic conservation zones?
Oh, gosh.
5, okay, all right, there you go. And 1 state heritage area. So the rules around how these places are protected, how they can be used, how they can be modified, are all about to be changed. And Gawler is perhaps more in the firing line than a lot of other places because the new rules are going to apply from July next year. So we need to get ready for this and we need to fight back. We need to say, we've never asked to have our heritage protection laws diminished. We thought they were going to be strengthened. And so what's happened in the last year is there has been supposedly a process of community consultation about the changes. Nothing's happened. We've had no debate about this. The National Trust is very concerned because we were promised a debate around any policy change. What's happening is the rules are being changed without any proper public debate, and we know the consequences will be that a lot more places will be demolished. Do you recognise this? No? It's one of yours as well. Adrian recognises it? Yeah. Okay, so you think about these kind of places, you think, well, you wouldn't let that be knocked down, would you? You wouldn't think that could be replaced. But yes, it could be with these new rules coming into force. You're very lucky in Gawler though, because through the history team, you've had Paul Barnett do an amazing job of documenting all of your contributory items. So if you go to that link, and I don't know if you can get there, Ian, you can see photographs of every single, well, I think about 600 of them, lost it. that are sitting in, well, we're sitting in the wiki. I don't know how they've been transferred across to the news site. So you are so lucky to have a photographic record already of those places. So when you want to talk to people about the risks, you can show them. Paul's also photographed all of your local heritage items, all of your state heritage items. So the fantastic work that this team has done is going to be really useful in mobilising your community to say, well, we don't want to lose these places. We want them to be better protected, not less protected. So I'll let you go to that wiki page at your own time. This is the next thing I want to ask you to think about. In Adelaide on the 18th of September, we're having a public forum because we feel that it's about time the public got a chance to debate these changes. We haven't been allowed to do it, and we are inviting a number of speakers to come and talk about what's at risk. And I'm very pleased to note that one of those speakers is your own mayor. So Mayor Redmond has been very kind to agree to come down and speak at this forum because we think Gawler's got a vital interest in it. So I'd encourage you, if possible, to come to that forum, but I've also suggested to Brian it may be possible to do a kind of a rerun or a similar version for Gawler, if there's enough interest in the community, just to explain what's going on. There's a new alliance called the Protect Our Heritage Alliance, which is starting up to basically fight these changes and make sure that we don't lose the heritage protections that we've relied on for 40 years. So that's my story. Hopefully that's not much more than 5 minutes, Brian.
That's fine. Thank you.